My name is Nisi Jacobs. Hi. How are you? I wanted to. Oh, sorry. Okay. Um, there's three things I want to speak to. One is we've been working very hard on social media to try to let people know that they have until the 25th to check out whether their affidavit was counted. And if not, they have until the 25th, I understand, to contest it in court. And they're being charged at least $310 to go into court and contest it. That just for the fee. That's what we've been told. We haven't gotten any straight information from the Board of Elections. And we've also been hearing that people calling in to try to ascertain if their affidavit was counted are getting varying levels of assistance and people who even know about the issue.
Just a question for clarification. Who is that $310 paid to allegedly?
What we
Board of
understand is that it's a
Elections
fee, it's a court fee, a court fee.
It's
A
a
filing
filing
fee.
fee for the documentation.
Right, so
Okay.
for all of the number of affidavits, there was only 98 counted in Brooklyn, is what we understand. And so the rest, the balance of who wasn't counted, Ryan said that last Friday at the City Council meeting. Only 98 were found valid. So the other number of affidavits that were submitted and found invalid, those people have until the 25th to go into the Board of Ed or call them, except when they call, they're not usually finding anybody who knows what they're talking about. They're not being told a deadline. And he's already told Election Justice USA's lawyer and anybody else who he speaks to the matter about, he will admit that the notices that they're mailing out to people to let them know that they have until the 25th won't reach them until after the 25th, if they're sent at all. So you're talking about what I see as like a way to make money for the courts. I don't understand this system at all. I know a lot of people who have gone in to have to file for a court issue and not even been fined. $300 people don't have. That's very prohibitive. And it's prohibitive to have to go down there to talk to somebody who doesn't know. That's my first point.
Sure.
My second point is I spoke to somebody who came all the way down here today from the Bronx, who's a poll worker and who's also somebody who was forced for whatever reason to vote by absentee ballot. He's going to talk to you about that. He had no idea, as a trained poll worker who's got his own testimony about his poll place, that he had until the 25th. He said, I don't know if my vote counted. How can I find out? So if he's not on social media, because maybe that's not his thing, he has no way to learn this anywhere. It's not in the newspapers. It's not being passed around anywhere. What are we supposed to do? Go, if he's not on Facebook or Twitter, are we supposed to walk around the city and go up to everybody and say, excuse me, do you have a question, you random person? Okay, so that's number two. Number three is I was walking my dogs in Sunset Park yesterday. I happened to pass by the office of City Council member Carlos Menchaca. Menchaca. Yes,
Yeah,
right.
Carlos Manchete.
That's right. So I went in, such a nice office,
Yeah.
beautifully laid out, organized, bright, helpful. Somebody comes to greet me, they know what they're doing. I asked them, did you have any voters that came in with any issues? He said, yeah, about a dozen in the neighborhood. They vote across the street at the nursing home. They came in before voting day. They were so engaged, which is probably not the norm for that neighborhood because it's a rough neighborhood. It's not like people have a lot of leisure time to think about and plan these things out. They're usually working a lot of jobs. They came in, they wanted to find out why they couldn't find themselves on the voter registration online database. And he said, I said to him, what did you tell them? He said, well, we're not really allowed to speak to it. So this is the person in the community that community people, if they even know about the office, will go to for assistance. He works for this council member, Carlos Menchaca, who I'm sure is great. And when I said, what do you tell those people who don't know why they're not showing up? He said, I tell them to go to the Board of Elections. I said, do you know if the Board of Elections, that their city and the state voter registration databases are still not in sync? He said, no, I didn't know that. So that means that when I went online and I looked at all of the city council member offices in all boroughs, and there's like, what, 50 or 60 of them, I bet you when I call all of them, which is what I'm going to do, every single person who picks up the phone is going to say, oh, I told them to call the Board of Elections. And when I was at the Board of Elections last Tuesday, I asked a question, which was, is there a page on your website that tells me what your planned changes are? Because we know all the problems. We've been here for 2 weeks telling you hours and hours of testimony of problems. What, do you have a page like, these are our changes that are coming up? They shut me down. Ms. Perez said to me, do you have a serious question? Do you have a real question, Ms. Jacobs? She shut me down. Right, everybody, and I have it on tape. I have it on videotape. It's archived. It's online for you if you want to see it. They all laughed in my face. They sat around and laughed at me. They looked at each other like I was a complete moron for asking them if they had a customer service page that let me know about upcoming changes because I said we don't feel secure about our next election. So I was told, it's on the website. It's on the website. We don't have time for you. So I called the next day. I can't find it on the website. What's on the website? I can't find the page. Somebody will call you back. We don't, she started to read me the about page description of the Board of Elections. I said, I know what the about page is. That's not the plan changes. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll have to call you back. I talked to finally the woman who shuts everybody down at the meetings and 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, 1 minute. You know that woman? She called me back and she told me they misunderstood me. They thought I meant the streaming video that was being documented during when I was asking them, do they have a page with the statements telling us what changes are planned? I said, why would I ask you for a page with a bulleted list of live video stream? That makes no sense. We misunderstood you. You probably weren't clear. So I got blamed again. I got laughed at, I got blamed, I got ridiculed, and I got interrupted and told that my questions weren't real.
So
Right. These are the people that are calling the Board of Elections.
I understand. Thank you. So we understand that they were very rude. So is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about?
Yeah, what I would like to find out is you have to find this weak link. This is an amazing weak link. Okay? And if you want to go to Albany and take all these grand ideas up there and have them put to the back of the list, because that's what's going to happen, you have to actually think about all the weak links, like city council members who don't know anything and don't tell their office members that people coming in from the community are being dumped over, you know, into the garbage when they actually need real help.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
We do hear your frustration, I understand.